Woo! What's going on, guys? Almost Form coming out with another video. Today's video, I am behind again. It's a story of my life. This just is what it is, man. So this is training camp number 9. They did number 10 today. So I'm talking about Sunday, yesterday. This is yesterday's camp. Thanks to guys like John Macaron, Tim Twentyman, Eric Schlitt, guys like Jeremy Reisman, Jeff Risden, Justin Rogers. The list goes on and on. The Detroit Lions beat writers that are on the sidelines watching us up close and personal and putting out that information so I can get the information out to you. And we can discuss, we can talk, we can argue, we can do whatever you want with this. We can have good discussions. But this is after that, abysmal Thursday game. We had a couple days off, obviously, and they were back to work on Sunday. Working on some things. And I didn't do a video on that game, which I said I was going to do, but I just couldn't. The opportunity didn't come where I could get to it. It was a very busy weekend, and I just couldn't get to it. Real quick with that game, if you guys want me to do a video, I can do a video. I was going to do something similar to what I do every year, with games in general. Talking about stats, talking about this and that, talking about some plays here and there. Talk about some coaching blunders, players blunders, talk about good things, bad things, whatever happened in that football game. And most of it was bad. They got blown out 34-7. A couple guys did look good. I thought on the offensive side, Isaac Tesla looked pretty good. I thought Dominic Lovett did look good. He did have a drop or something like that, drop or two. But he looked good catching the football. I thought Colby Sorsdal, I thought looked good in that football game. Offensively, who else? Coyote Iwasika, I thought, played pretty decently in that game. Skipper did play good, but he got hurt in that football game. Didn't play much, but he looked like he was blocking okay at the time. Right tackle, Jamarco Jones looked okay in that game too. I thought he opened up a couple nice holes. I thought for Craig Reynolds. Right guard was like Mutai was in there. He looked okay, looked pretty decent. Guys that looked bad on offense, the two quarterbacks were horrific. Two quarterbacks were terrible, Hooker and Kyle Allen. I thought Allen looked a little bit better, even though he threw 2 picks. Hooker just holds on to the ball too long. Everyone's like, oh, he had 6 attempted passes. Well, he had chances to pass the ball, but he panics and he tucks and runs. That's what he did. He threw an interception too as well. People want to say that the wide receiver didn't fight enough on it. I don't remember who the wide receiver was he threw to on that pick. It was either Tesla or Love. I can't remember. I really don't remember. But I didn't think Hooker and Allen were good at all. Who else was bad? Who else didn't look very good on offense? They only scored 7 points. I thought Craig Reynolds ran the ball hard too as well. He had a touchdown. Did have a fumble though. Their first play of the game was a fumble by Grant Stewart. On a kick return. So they did that. The Grant Stewart did it in college, whatever. I don't remember where he played. New Mexico. I don't remember where Grant Stewart played college. Maybe somewhere in Texas. I can't remember. But he did attempt it a little bit in college. On defense, they didn't look that great. I thought, Hasney showed some grit. He had 4 overall tackles, 2 solos, 2 assists. A little bit of pressure on the quarterback. Didn't finish though. Whiffed on a couple sacks that he probably maybe should have had. I thought Nate Lynn played pretty good on defense. Who else? Who didn't play good? I thought Boodle played terrible on as a corner. Rakestraw did not have a good game on playing corner. There was no starters on here, so guys, I'm just trying to remember. I didn't really make any notes on this. I came home late and watched that football game after work, and that's basically what I got, and I couldn't get to making the video. So I was like literally watching that game at like 12 a.m. and I just didn't get to making the video. And I just couldn't the next day, things going on, my daughter's birthday. I'm a dad, man. I'm a girl dad, guys, and I just don't have a lot of time. Sometimes I'm rushing to get this thing done. But I was trying to go over the game really fast before I get to training camp. And who else on defense played good? Wasn't a whole hell of a lot of guys. I thought a couple guys played good, a couple guys played bad. They got a lot to improve. It's preseason. I don't put too much stock into it. Preseason, man, I know we've gone over this probably 1,000 times. Preseason is for individual performances, in my opinion. I know you want to win games, but it doesn't count. Just remember, we went 4-0 when we lost 16 football games. Just remember that, okay? 4-0 in preseason. People thought we were going to the Super Bowl. So don't take too much stock into preseason football games. We got 4 of them. Normally it's 3, but we had the Hall of Fame game, so us and the Chargers have that extra preseason game. And the Chargers, they look good on offense. They look good on defense. Their depth looked much better. Now, I'm not saying our depth is dog shit, but it didn't look good. There was some good and bad. Some individual performances that were good and some that were bad. They got to clean a lot of stuff up. Even Campbell came out, he wasn't happy. He was just like, who wants to make this football team? We need to be better. You can't have that many turnovers. They had, I believe, 4 or 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions by the quarterbacks, a couple fumbles. Can't do that. You just can't do that. You're going to lose football games 9.5 out of 10 times. You're just going to. So, there was some good and bad and good, whatever you want to say. I'm not going to get too much into it. Maybe I should have, but I just didn't write that video out. I just probably couldn't get to it, and then I'm just getting to this now. So let's get to this. Day 9. Day 9 was yesterday. Thanks to all the guys that I mentioned. Lions got back to work, after a really bad showing on Thursday. Participation. Guys that were back were safety Kirby Joseph, cornerback Meek Robertson, left tackle Taylor Decker, individual drills. For Decker, no team drills. It looked like Joseph and Meek Robertson were right back in the mix. For most part, I didn't read that they weren't. Out was cornerback Terrion Arnold on the hamstring. I'll talk about that in a second. Offensive tackle Dan Skipper, ankle, got hurt in that Hall of Fame game. And then running back Kai Robichaux. Don't really know what his injury is. It seems like a lower body injury. I know he got tangled up with Anthony Pittman a few days ago in practice, so I don't know what officially happened to him. But the Terrion Arnold thing I want to talk about a little bit. I'm a little bit more upset with that, especially since he got that calf injury. Then a day later, he suited up and got hurt by his hamstring. And now it's a low-grade hammy, according to Dan Campbell. But they said they were going to take it easy with him after the calf injury, and he practiced the very next day. So I think that's kind of, it's a little bit weak on the organization's part, having him practice the next day. It's just, if a guy's hurt, why are you saying you're going to take it easy with him and then the next day he practices? So I'm not the type of guy that blames Dan Campbell for practice injuries. I'm just not that guy because I actually know the sport. I play it, and guys get hurt. It's football. That's just what it is. Yeah, you can control the physicality, you control what's going on, but guys get hurt just running. So it just, sometimes you just don't know what happened. But when you come out and say that you're going to take it easy with him and then practice him the next day, I blame a little bit of that on Campbell. Just a little bit. And I'm not the type of guy to blame that because he shouldn't have practiced. He shouldn't have practiced the next day because that's an extension. It's the same leg. It's an extension of his right leg. He hurt his right calf. Now he's got to hurt his right hammy or whatever leg it is. It's the same calf, the same hammy on the same leg. So you got to be a little smarter than that. That's just a little bit of that's a little just not organized. It's not sticking to your guns. He should have sat, but not saying he never would have hurt his hammy, but I think it's a little bit weak. So Arnold should be back. It looks like he's going to be out for a few practices. Sit this kid out, man. You need him. You need Terrion in there. Hurt in practice, cornerback Enos Rakestraw Jr., the second-round cornerback out of Missouri. Went down pretty hard, apparently, in a tackling drill. It was thought to be his ribs at first. He was just clutching his arm and his ribs, kind of like. It turned out to be his shoulder. I think it's a little bit worse than we thought. Terrion Arnold put out a cryptic message today saying, things happen, you'll be back, you'll be better later on down the line. They just kind of like, go look at his message. He might have deleted it, I don't know, but he turned off all the comments on Instagram, Twitter, whatever he's on. And this guy's a Band-Aid, Enos Rakestraw. He was in college, missed like over 17 games, with ACLs, other things, groins. He's soft. He's small, at like 170 plus pounds. He's a small corner. You don't have to be huge to be a corner in the NFL, but he's slight of build. I want this kid to work out. I'm not putting the injury prone tag on him, but it's not a good look. It's just not. He's just a small dude, and this is what Holmes does. Not calling him a bust. I'm not making fun of Holmes. I'm not bashing him, but this is just a pick that he loves these injury prone guys. He just loves them. And I don't know what it is about him that he loves. They're talented. Like, Rakestraw wasn't great in college, though. He was nothing special where he stood out. He was a good player when healthy. That's the thing, when healthy. So, I know I'm not calling for anybody's head. I'm not saying he needs to be cut. There's a lot of Lions fans out there saying that Rakestraw needs to go. I'm not there yet. Not in year 2, but it's creeping up. It really is, because he is a bit of a Band-Aid, and he's soft. He really is. So this injury seems to be worse than they're leading on. Expect something, especially when you see guys like Arnold putting out those kind of cryptic messages. Hopefully I'm wrong and I'm just overlooking it and I'm just like panicking for no reason, which I tend to do. So it's like, it just happens. And then, so he's hurt. Hopefully he returns. It'd be nice to see him back. We need to see what he's about. Rookie safety Dan Jackson had a leg injury. He left as well. A couple of injuries in practice. Then secondary is a little bit of a mess right now. Guys are shuffling around. Players back. Joseph and Robertson, like I said, right back in the mix. Arnold and Rake out. Those guys are out. So vet cornerback Rock Ya-Sin got some looks at safety. Okay, he got some looks at safety. He was told he was going to get some looks at safety. He's never played the safety position before, but they really love him in run support. His run support's been pretty good over the years, apparently. I haven't looked too much into this. He's had a pretty good camp so far, Rock Ya-Sin, so he's getting some safety reps. I thought he would probably get some more outside cornerback reps, but that's okay. They're trying to, they love guys that are versatile, and they're trying to see if he can play safety. So that's okay when you do this in camp. There's nothing to panic about it yet. He's not our starting safety. He just got some looks there. And then guys like DiCaprio Boodle, the cornerback they picked up, who's played for a couple teams. I believe the Chargers are one of them. Picked him up a few weeks ago. He got some first-team reps at cornerback. Now, he has not had a good camp. DiCaprio Boodle hasn't had a very good camp. He's struggled. He has struggled, and but they gave him some looks anyways. So it's nothing to really worry about, but they're just trying to see where guys are, and I can see Boodle getting cut anyways. So the safeties were Joseph and Branch in the first team, and then the first team on corners were DJ Reed and Boodle. The defense and offense had some one-on-ones. One-on-one was solid, and the guys that were solid were Anzalone, Trevor Nowaski, Avonte Maddox. They each won their first round of reps. Tight ends, Tesla did beat a DB, Eric Hallett, on a one-on-one. There's a video out there of him. It looks like a little bit like a push-off, but he did beat him, and it was a nice catch and run by Tesla. He's getting all kinds of praise right now, Tesla. And then Monty over Campbell, that's kind of been the theme a little bit in the camp. Monty has kind of owned Jack Campbell in camp so far, which is what you want is hear from your number one running back, but Campbell's also your number one linebacker too, or number two linebacker. Him and Anzalone are 1 and 2 in my opinion. So then running back Jeremy Small had a nice win over linebacker Deron Gilbert. Then running back Craig Reynolds spun around safety Dan Jackson. Stewart, this is interesting here too, but I'll talk about this. Stewart wrapped up Vaikai, and then Nowaski over H-back, fullback, kind of Zach Horton. Then this was really interesting hearing this. Grant Stewart is a linebacker from the Colts. Great special teams guy, good backup at linebacker position. Then you got Vaikai, who was a safety in college, played a very minimal running back at Utah. because he was needed. Every single running back apparently went down in Utah, and they went to him, and he looked pretty good in a small sample size of games. Ran the ball extremely hard, got drafted by Brad Holmes because of it. Okay, but they switched positions, they switched roles, and some. I'm guessing it was a one-on-one drill, and I got Stewart beat Vaikai. So when I say switch roles, Stewart went to running back, and Vaikai went back to defender. So we played safety in college, like I said, was an in-the-box safety, was horrific in passing defense, but a pretty good run supporter on defense at Utah. But Stewart beat him as a running back. So whatever they're doing there, they're experimenting with Stewart. They're experimenting with him at running back, and they're experimenting with him on special teams. So take that with a grain of salt. I don't think you'll see much of this in the regular season. But again, they love guys that are versatile. The St. Brown versus Branch one-on-one, multiple wins by St. Brown. It was a St. Brown day on Sunday. There was some really nice video as well. Shout out to Detroit Lions on X, Twitter. Over the shoulder catch. I think Branch had him. Then it was an outside throw to the sidelines where St. Brown literally had to contort his body and make a toe-tapping catch. It was an incredible catch. Branch was on him too there as well. So St. Brown is in midseason form like always. He's always one of the top guys in camp. It doesn't even matter. The O-line had some shuffling going on as well. Decker did individual drills, no team drills, like I said. Skipper was out, so you got your two tackles are out right there. So Jamarco Jones was first team left tackle, and Manu was left tackle for the second team. So first team was Jones left tackle, Mahogany left guard, Glasgow center, Ratledge right guard, Sewell right tackle. No change really there except Jones. You know, Jones is basically your third or fourth left tackle on this team. They put Manu there a lot, as the third guy, but he's been getting second team reps because of Decker being out. But eventually Decker will be back. So, and the second team was Manu was at left tackle, Etain Mutai was at left guard, Tristan Colon at center, Coyote Awasika at right guard, and then Mason Miller, the UDFA, at right tackle. But the newcomer offensive lineman Justin Heron, they picked him up. He was in the mix at right tackle as well. He had wins over Ukwu and Agude. So nice day for the guy that just came out of nowhere. He was a free agent. He played for the Raiders. I'm not sure who else he played for. Maybe the Seahawks. But he's a guy that is a little bit, that has some. He has started in the NFL. He hasn't been a great O-lineman, but he's been serviceable for some teams. He's a guy that's going to come in and hopefully win a backup spot or whatever happens with him. But he's in an uphill battle as well. And then Colby Sorsdal, he was solid. Sorsdal had a really nice Hall of Fame game, I thought. He had wins over guys like Williams, Nate Lynn, and Chris Smith. Those guys have been really good, though. Tyleik Williams had a really good day. Nate Lynn had a really good day. Chris Smith as well, too. But Sorsdal's having a solid camp. Struggled a bit at the beginning. It looks like he's starting to turn it around a little. He's a guy that I'm kind of worried about. They're going to cut. I'm not worried that we're going to lose him. It's just a guy that I think has been on the bubble. And it seems the more that he's being pulled back in a little bit more than having outside the bubble. So we'll see what happens there. I think he's in an uphill battle as well, but it's good that he's showing improvement. Offense shines in 7-on-7. Touchdown to Raymond. Don't forget about Khalif Raymond, guys. He beat Boodle on it, though. Completion to Laporta. Pass breakup by Reed over J-Mo. That was a little bit of a back and forth right there. J-Mo beat him on a couple reps. Reed did well. We'll talk about it in a second. Hooker was on a second team. He needs to step up. Apparently Hooker is going to start on Friday against, I don't know who they play. Atlanta, the Falcons, I believe it is. I think I talk about it too later. But he's starting. He needs to be better. He knows he wasn't good at all. Hooker on second team, completions of Vaikai and Jackson Meeks. He did Meeks again and then Lovett. Scrambled to connect with Jacoby Keeney James. So he had an okay practice. He struggled a bit. We talk about it too a little bit. Reed, J-Mo beat Reed on a nice comeback route early after that. The 5'9" cornerback had enough. Pass breakups, 2 incompletions later. during team drills. Then they shut him down. Then he shut him down on a nice comeback route again by J-Mo. So Reed's one of those guys where you see him get beat and he takes it personally. He takes it personally, and then he won. He won most of his reps that day. But it was a good back and forth with him and J-Mo. Hooker, not happy with his performance. I just talked about this. He gave himself a 0 out of 10. Starts his Friday versus the Falcons, blah, blah, blah. I'm repeating myself. This is a quote from him. Just play the next play, short-term memory, and just continue to motivate my teammates, push my troops, and get the ball in the end zone. End quote. So, he needs to be better. Him and Kyle Allen were both bad. So I'm not picking on one or the other. They were both bad. In my opinion, I thought Allen looked a little bit more control of the offense, but he still was not good. Nobody ran away with it. Nobody has the lead, I don't think. But they're going to give every opportunity for Hooker to win this. They gave Allen the ball all halftime versus second quarter up until halftime. Hooker's going to get that same deal. It's now or never. I know it's only the first preseason game, but they need to improve. Or someone's coming in. And I don't know who's out there. There's not many guys out there. Carson Wentz, he's out there. I don't know. It wouldn't cost a ton, $4 or $5 million maybe. I don't know. Goff goes down. It's a terrible situation. I think it's like that for every football team that ever exists. 32 teams, 32 starting quarterbacks go down. You can't trust too many backup quarterbacks. You got the guys like the Tyrod Taylors and the guys out there like this Tyson Bagent kid in Chicago that everybody loves. There's a couple guys out there that you can maybe trust to get you by in a 4 or 5 game series, 4 or 5 games like in a row. Maybe hopefully get you two wins out of 5, maybe 3 if you're lucky. But it's the same across the board. Your starting quarterback goes down, you're toast. You're done. Unless you got like a Nick Foles to come in and all of a sudden shine out of nowhere. It happens, but out of 10 times, it happens 0.07. I'm just making up that number, but you guys know what I'm saying. It doesn't exist much. So, but yes, we do want these guys to be better, though. I'm not saying who cares about the position, because it is important. Because if Goff goes down and he's going down for 4 games, you want to salvage at least 2 of those. You want to hope you can have your quarterback not be the hero, just salvage it. Just be safe. And these guys haven't showed anything. They haven't showed nothing. Hooker has been bad. Allen's been terrible. They've been both bad. Both having good camps, but who cares about camp when it matters? They don't show up. So they're giving the opportunity to Hooker this Friday. Let's see what he does. Hopefully he takes a big lead in it. That doesn't mean I want to see Allen not succeed. I want to see him succeed as well too. One or the other, or both. Do something. One of these guys. Branch and Ratledge making statements as well. Branch did blow up a play. He did get beat by St. Brown, a little bit in this practice. He blew up a run play in the jumbo offense. Goff did hit J-Mo on a crosser, an eventual touchdown to St. Brown. Ratledge took out Hutch on a really nice block. Hutch patting him on the back, patting him on the head, giving him an attaboy. Afterwards, he blew him up on a nice run, set the edge on him. He also blew up Derek Barnes too. I think I said that later. Second team, Hasseltine with a tackle for loss with Barnes. Pressure on Hooker, incomplete. So that's good for the rookie. He played okay, I thought, in that Hall of Fame game. Situational drills, centered on the offense, converting first downs, run out the clock. Second down, Gibbs had a catch, then a Williams catch on Reed. He shed and tackled him. Goff to St. Brown. I guess it was a highlight reel catch with Robertson. With Robertson in coverage. Play ended when Goff missed J-Mo with Robertson in coverage. Ratledge knocked over Barnes on that one. Second team, run by Reynolds. Branch with a big hit on Zylstra on a short pass. Hooker struggled a little bit in this one. Sailing a ball into the defenders, intended for Zach Horton. I don't know if it was picked or if it just sailed into a body of defenders, but it was just a bad look by Hooker. First team, Gibbs run, then a 3rd and 4. It was a screen to Monty, first down, session ended. Vaikai did have a nice day catching the ball, so that's good. I think that's his biggest strength. Bates, 6 for 6, 34, 38, 39, 44, 44 and 49 respectively. Bang, big leg. Bates is the guy, no question. I don't think they even have a second kicker in. Raymond still has it, guys. I talked about this, 13.8 yards on average on his punt returns last year. He did miss time. He was third in the NFL, though. 2 long touchdowns in that practice. There's a video of it, having showing his wheels. He's one of the fastest guys on the team, maybe the third fastest guy on this football team behind J-Mo and Gibbs. He can move. Infectious. You know, you got guys like Khalif Raymond, St. Brown on the jugs machine, catching balls per usual. Tesla and Lovett are out there. They've joined them. They've been pretty consistent on doing it. Lovett has had a couple drops in practice. He had a drop in that Hall of Fame game, but I think he still had a nice game. It's good to see him out there trying to hone his craft. Tesla, too, who's a guy that doesn't drop passes, apparently. He dropped one in practice, I think, on Sunday, but he's a guy that doesn't drop passes. He's out there trying to better his game. Sorsel, more on him. He's been playing guard and offensive tackle on Sunday. He won reps. He won his reps. He was really good. The only loss was versus UDFA Cooper on a really nice rip move underneath. Got him. He's primarily played center in camp so far, which is a little bit surprising because I know he's been a little bit everywhere. Center is not his position, but he's been there. He's playing guard and tackle on Sunday. So I think he's starting to get a little bit more looks. He's a guy that, like I said, got his foot more in the bubble now, not outside the bubble, but he's still on the bubble. You guys know what I mean. Mahogany. He tricked the young guy, Hassanin, on a nice pin-pull move. You guys know what a pin-pull move is. It's where the offensive lineman and the D lineman lock up. And as the D lineman's pushing, the offensive lineman pulls the chair. Literally, like, kind of pulls the chair on you, and the O lineman goes flat on his face. So that's a savvy move for a second-year O lineman. And Hassanin is a guy that probably never really seen that in college. Not that guys ever pulled it on him. I'm not saying nobody ever did, but it's a good savvy move by the young left guard, out of Boston College over the Boise State kid coming in. So it's a good savvy move by Mahogany. That's a lesson learned by Hassanin. I used to love that move. I never played offensive line, but that move is textbook when an O lineman does it. They're just playing your weight against you. It's pin pull, boom. The O lineman thinks you're going to be pushing back with them, and it's just a pin pull, and it just kind of pulls the chair out from you. And as you're pushing, you go right into the ground face first, and then you're in trouble. You're like, oh shit, I got embarrassed. It's an embarrassing move by a D lineman when it gets pulled on them. It's a lesson learned. I'm sure you got a little bit of ribbing for it, but it happens. It's lesson learned. Good move by Mahogany. Mahogany is going to turn out to be really nice, guys. And then Sewell versus Hutch, the pay-per-view we all wanted. Sewell did beat Hutch. There's video of it too. Hutch tried to do a spin move again. He beat Sewell really badly on one of them a couple days ago. The big right tackle, All-Pro, locked him up. And then O'Connor, it did beat Sewell on a long arm outside press too, which is very impressive for O'Connor to do that too. Notes, I'm right at the end here, guys. I'm running super late. Running back Jamari Small has shown some quick feet out there, determination, downhill running. He's in deep, though. He's like running back 5 on this team. He's behind guys like Reynolds and Vaikai. So, you know what I mean? Vaikai will slowly be in that third running back situation conversation when he gets more healthy. It seems that's happening right now. So he's in deep, Jamari Small. Could be a practice squad guy. And then struggling to run inside. This is the one thing that I was worried about with this football team. I was really worried about this. If they're going to be able to run the football inside. They haven't really been able to so far in camp. With guys like rookie Tyleik Williams, the first-round pick, and DJ Reader, who are both loads. They've been walls. Then you got guys like Glasgow, Mahogany, and Ratledge, who I love, who I absolutely love. I love those guys. Glasgow, I'm not too big on. I know what Glasgow's about. Ratledge and Mahogany, I'm big on. But it makes the life easier when you can't run inside for the linebackers. The linebackers just eat that shit up. So they need to be better. It was something I was been a little bit concerned about. I'm not panicking just yet. Not panicking in practice. I'm not panicking for a thing, but it's something to keep an eye on. Keep that one eye on it because it's something that people were concerned about. Are they going to be able to run? With losing guys like Ragnow and Zeitler were huge. I like Mahogany and Reed. I like Mahogany and Ratledge, but they are not those guys. And Glasgow isn't Ragnow. So it's something to be just, concerned about. Not to panic, but keep an eye on it because they haven't been able to do it very well. Outside runs have been fantastic. But running inside, it's been a problem. So, you know what I mean? So they need to get a little bit better. The Tesla did drop a pass, like I said. Malik Taylor had a drop. He's another guy that's on the bubble. He's probably going to be cut. And then here, newcomer cornerback Nick Whiteside with the pass breakup versus Tim Patrick. Then he had a really good coverage on Malik Taylor as well. It's a guy that was a UFL guy, St. Louis Battlehawks, who's played well in that league. And he's having a good camp. Been very limited so far because he's only been here for a couple days. But he has shown a little bit of promise. Who knows what happens with him? He's probably another camp cut, but maybe a guy that makes the practice squad. We'll see what happens. But that's it, guys. This has gone on way too long. I got to go. Got to get to work. And thanks a lot, guys, for watching the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. It's free. Not a charge. No charge at all. Hit the ring. Hit the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Let's talk, guys. Day 9 in the books. Day 10 was today. I'll try to get that done too tomorrow. I'm behind. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Go Lions. Hunting season. Bang.